Growth. Because if you're not growing, you're withering away, you're dying. And so is your business. If you don't get it together at this time of the year, which all of you say is the slower time, then when are you going to do it? So what we're going to talk about today is how in recent years, the real estate market has consistently changed. Agents are frantic. They're still trying to keep up with interest rate hikes and price changes and dwindling listings and market unavailability and lack of inventory. The race to stay ahead is a very real challenge. And your challenge as a real estate professional is to understand how to adapt to it. I'm going to share my tips from years of doing this and years of coaching this now to how you as a real agent can actually consistently grow your business. We're going to dive into some actionable tips so you're going to have things to walk away with, resources that you can use, and insights that will help you thrive in an ever-changing industry. So let's get cracking. First and foremost, we have gone through several classes about what type of real estate agent are you. I'm going to pull this one up for you. If you haven't had a chance to see it, you need to see it. This is what defines you as an agent and what kind of niche you should be working in. When you're looking on how to grow your real estate business, people need to know that they can trust your expertise. So you need to showcase it. Consider creating detailed neighborhood guides, information with local amenities, schools in the area. Walking scores are very popular. Local history. Focus on the neighborhood or another one that you appreciate and you know it exceptionally well. You can even preview some vacant listings that exist so you have a solid feel of the homes that are in that area. Again, work where you enjoy working. I don't expect you to cover the whole state. I don't even expect you to cover a whole city, but find those golden neighborhoods, the ones that you truly want to specialize in, so that you can use them as a prime example every single time you're talking to a client. I spoke to one agent one time who remarked that she had met another mother at a PTA meeting who mentioned about selling her house. The agent said, obviously, that she offered her services, ready to discuss the opportunity. The client never heard back from her. The house was listed a month later. The agent was hurt, got all upset. What was offered to her as a potential client after the initial discussion, face fell off as she understand that she lost money by simply not picking up the phone and following up on that direct lead that she had created. She did the work. She did a social gathering. She actually met the client. They had genuine interest in working with a realtor, and all they had to do was show up, pick up the phone and follow up, send out an email and say, hey, remember that conversation we had? It's okay if that turns to rejection, by the way, but the fact that she didn't do it at all, and it did end up being business for someone else, that's painful. It is your job as a real estate agent to elevate those conversations. They don't come up often. And when a hot lead falls in your lap, it is your cue to demonstrate that you have understanding of the market in the area and are an expert in your field, because they're going to recognize that if you didn't follow up before the business was created, what kind of communication are they going to get with you once you have a contract in hand? Remember, keep your conversations local, keep your conversations targeted. If you're going to need help on how to showcase expertise in an area, a simple phone call might be enough. There are some guides on real estate farming. I'm going to throw this one up in the corner as well. If you get a chance to see how to farm a golden neighborhood, how to choose one, go take a look at it. Great. This will set you up well for 2025. This will help you to become the go-to agent in a particular community. If you want more designs on how to educate your clients, we certainly have lots of them. You need to look back at all of our very relevant sessions this year so that you understand what the market is looking at and what the clients that we are working with today are actually asking for. So next, you need to focus on your lead generation efforts. The answer is always leads. If you're looking on how to grow a real estate business fast, and let me interrupt myself, if there's one thing I've seen as a coach, is that agents are especially prone to shiny penny syndrome. It's every month an agent has to try a new lead generation strategy, jumping from one tool to the next, never actually perfecting or learning how to use the one that they've already got, without seeing the process bloom into a sale, without actually committing to a plan. And believe me, if you don't commit yourself to a business plan, you're going to actually harm your ability to see the long-term process. The shotgun approach, although hits all of the target, doesn't center in and doesn't actually capture the kind of business that you're truly wanting to specialize in. And it can cost you thousands of dollars thrown down the drain by the end of the year when you're putting all of your budget together. If you see yourself consistently focusing on just a couple of real estate strategies, I would say no more than three, because if there's a prime dozen, three is what you should be doing every single day as a part of your business strategy. And give it time. I personally prospect my sphere once a week. I host open houses. I farm neighborhoods every single month. And yes, that means digitally, that means with mailers, and that means I do some independent door knocking as well. But if you want to go the fully digital route, you can actually try a paid lead generation strategy. Don't forget, I don't like these. If you've been in the business long enough, there is no need for you to spend money on a lead generation system out there. There is a lot more of an indirect lead approach that's happening in the market today because people are scared. They're not out window shopping like they typically would be in a normal housing market. So we are using some of these digital and paid strategies to try to get more focused conversations in front of customers. Essentially, coax them out of the dark, coax them out of the basement so that we can have a real conversation with them. What I'm saying is that there is no one-size-fits-all formula, but you know yourself and you know the business that you want to go after. So trying out a new lead generation strategy every other month, unfortunately, is like throwing spaghetti at a wall. You have to make a commitment to a lead gen strategy or a lead pay for performance strategy for more than, I would say, 12 months before you can capitalize on it. And for most of the ones that are out there, if you get one deal out of all of the work you do over 12 months, it will typically at least pay for the strategy. And that should probably be your starting point as to whether or not it's going to work for you, whether or not it's going to work in your area that you've chosen also, and whether or not you've got the time and the energy to work with a pay-for lead system. Because in a pay-for-lead system, when the lead's on the phone and the lead's available to talk, and like I said before, they've coaxed them out of the dark, you better be ready to get on that telephone you're paying $1,000 every other year for and make sure that you're having a conversation. Speaking of lead gens, there's my lead system right now popping up in the corner that I've got a new person in Pinellas that wants to talk about buying a home. They will get a call right after this. Next, get involved with a support network. A great brokerage is key. You being able to reach out to consistent people that don't necessarily think like you, but have been successful in the market are what's going to keep you motivated and generated. It's okay. You can get stuck in a rut so easily, but just by having efforts of being involved with others is sometimes enough to get you out of it. One of my agents this week just told me they're excited about us getting back to our monthly gatherings. We've got enough agents that are showing interest in getting together once a month. We call them our third Tuesday social. So for us, it's an exciting time for our agents to get together, be appreciated by the brokerage with a quick lunch or a late afternoon gathering so that everybody can enjoy a beer or a soda together and just share some stories and know that they're not alone out there in the market. We can be carved off on an island so often in this industry thinking that we're all by ourselves until we get a contract on the hook. And then the whole brokerage is ready to pounce on there with you. In this type of scenario, what I'm talking about, your aim is to learn from other entrepreneurs that have these same experiences and get some socializing in there too. You can find all kind of professional referrals in there too if you decide to expand into a business group. But if you're going to do business groups, you need to make sure that these are people that do interface into the real estate industry for you. So find an accountant, find a business planner, find an insurance broker. Good luck. But it's a good bet that you're going to find lots of recommendations that way. And they are a great lead source. And so are you. So you can kind of wash each other's hands, if you will. Plus, you might even garner a couple of clients together, which will be great for you guys to talk about at your next social gathering, how you generated a lead together, how you worked it together, and what was your strategy for a successful transaction. Look, if you're struggling to find a group, chances are you're struggling even harder to find clients. So this is good practice for you to meet and greet and interface with people. You need it. Your business needs it, and people need to care about who you are. Next, you need to prioritize your client's experience. What's so special about working with you? What do you provide that other agents don't? In commercial business, we call it the differentiator. Offering your clients a white glove service, for example, would help you build a lot of lasting relationships. It's the key to boosting real estate through referrals. And if you only have to tend to one or two clients at a time, this is easy to do. Consistent, maybe overly consistent phone calls and the capability of talking to more people more often is the type of service that they're looking for. Ask them,